4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, Tsar here. And are you excited? Are you hyped? Are you ready? Blizzcon is less than 2 days away. And, well, I gotta say, for some people the hype train is starting up, but for me, not so much. Although I did see that Bolvar was apparently in the leaks. Which makes sense to me, in a way. Nostalgia is a very powerful thing. I can absolutely see why. I can absolutely believe, I should say, that the next expansion will pertain to the Lich King, because let's be honest, they made so much money off Classic that it would be good to pull at people's nostalgia strings. Every company is doing it. For some it's working, for others, I talked about this before. So I'm just going to skip over this. Video in the background is a Mythic 6 that I did on my Paladin, trying to gear him up. So don't expect any of the massive brain plays. I know I screwed up a poll, but this might be a long video. Now, I have a question for you guys. What can Blizzard show about the next expansion of World of Warcraft that'll get you hyped? That'll truly, like, what's the one thing that you want to see? That's what I want to read in the comments. So, for me, I stand on the opinion that Battle for Azeroth was one of the worst expansions they've ever done. There are many reasons as to why. I probably should go over them briefly, but let's get into some anecdotal stuff. I think Mythic Plus is a failure of a system. On my Hunter, when I was gearing him up, I did 14 Mythics, and I got one piece of gear from all of that. What an absolute waste of time. Now, I want you just to imagine for a second. Gearing up a DPS, and I mean, we've all done it, right? We've all, well, I shouldn't say we all done it. Most of us have geared up a DPS. Now, let's say the average dungeon is about 35 minutes long. We'll just say 35 minutes is probably higher. It could be lower, but I think 35 is a fair number to use. If we take just that, and these are just the dungeons I completed. These aren't the ones that we didn't make time run. So these are the chances at loot that I had. If you factor in just the time that it takes to do the dungeon of 14 mythics, that's what, 490 minutes? I mean, you could put that into hours, I suppose. And if you put that into hours, it's roughly 8 hours. That's not including the time it takes to find the group, to get to the dungeon, etc., etc., etc. So 8 hours for one piece of gear. To me, that is a failure of a system. And I could be an outlier. I could be in the minority. I could just be... some people probably have done 5 mythics in a row, have gotten a piece each time. I just did about 7 mythics on my Paladin, and I got one piece of gear. I actually think I get something from this dungeon. I think this is the dungeon where I broke that spell. And that's just talking about the mythic dungeons, by the way. I prefer challenge modes. I've always have. I understand they want dungeons to be relevant, but they need to do something about the Mythic Plus system. Now, that's not something that is make it or break it for me, because at least then if you do them with friends, then you get to at least have fun, you get to talk, and that's not too bad. But I'm just saying, like, if you think about how much time I waste on the game without getting anything, it's a long time. Even leveling an alt, let's say you level alt from Time Walkers, you get to max level, all of the quests and stuff that are around you, all of the quest lines you have to do to catch up is ridiculous. It's awful. I think back to Wrath when I PvP leveled my druid, and you got to max level, and it was just, you didn't have really anything you had to do. You could go into heroics, you could start a Naxxramas, you could go these routes without having to worry about what do I do? Like, do I have to do this quest line first? Do I have to do this quest line? You could just go and do it, and you could have fun. We didn't need silly gimmicks in Wrath. We just needed good classes to play and good environments, and we made our own fun. Now Blizzard is like, no, you have to do this fun. You have to do Island Expedition fun, so you don't have to, but it's a good idea to. You're going to have to get the Legendary Cloak fun in the next patch. And it's such a bad system of this forced content. Not to mention having to relearn another system in the last patch of an expansion, which I honestly think is ridiculous. But I digress. They're going to use nostalgia. They're going to bait us in. They're absolutely going to bait us in. They baited me in with BFA, and I guarantee they're probably going to try and bait me in. But this time around, I am not going to fall for the usual schemes. If I don't see something specific that I like from the next expansion, I'm not going to buy it. Something specific. I'm not going to be wooed by, oh, well, you know, we realized that we made an issue or made a mistake, and so we're going to fix it this way. I don't care of what they're going to fix. It's what they're going to, what their overall philosophy is going to be. If we get another artifact weapon or something, I'm done. That's it. I'm out. I'm put my hands up and say that that's it. I don't want another gimmick. I don't want another gimmick. I can't handle another expansion of another gimmick. I can't. I guarantee though they're gonna say something like, they're gonna give us a reworked conquest system. I think they're gonna bring PvP vendors back. I guarantee they're going to try and bring people in with all of these promises. They're going to announce probably class reworks. They're going to announce, you know, we're going to focus on classes more than ever, or hybrid abilities. They're going to do that. I mean, Ian even said that they, in a Q&A that they did, where he said that they agree that they went too far, so they're going to bring back some old stuff and hopefully some new stuff. But, man, see, now I'm on a nostalgia trip. And I know, and it's the thing about nostalgic, it's the same reason I didn't play Classic a lot, was because I'm one of those people that I have to keep nostalgia in the past. I can't keep bringing it back up. Nothing will ever change the memories that I had of back in the day, I should say, in, let's say, first patch Cataclysm, because it was my favorite patch in World of Warcraft, where you can make a name for yourself on your server. You know, I remember I was playing Horde back then, as I think a lot of people did starting off, where I did Tol Barad, and I'll never forget this. This is when I was just learning the people of the server. I did arenas in Wrath of the Lich King, but however that was attuned to battle group and not just the server. I did Wintergrass, but I didn't really learn anyone's names. In Tol Barad, however, I learned a few names on my server, and I learned them well, because they were people we had to focus. There was a priest on Echo Isles named Priestiality. I remember saying, Priestiality's at North Node, need backup. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it's a priest. It's one priest, guys, go. And then when you actually see someone with that, like, they were skilled. They were really skilled. They were really good. So, and I was just like, damn, but you can't get that anymore. I want you just to think back to about 6 months ago. Did you have a positive interaction with someone in BG? Do you remember their name? Probably not. You probably don't remember their name. World of Warcraft has become this... It's like living in a city. You're around so many people, yet you feel so alone. And I miss just having servers with people to interact with. I miss that. That's something that we're never going to get back. And perhaps I've just outgrown World of Warcraft. That's entirely possible as well. It's not a secret that I am happy for people that get to play Volpera and Mechanomes, but I just can't find a single bone in my body to care. I don't like playing cute things. You know, even the Blizzcon ticket is a onesie. And I mean, I know Slutmog doesn't make any sense, but holy lightning, a onesie? It's just, it's crazy to me. But, you know, perhaps that means it is time that I leave it behind. So this is the last straw for me. I mean, we had Big Boy N'Zoth hyped up since, since a while. I would say since Kata, and we're gonna beat his butt in a patch, which is depressing. I mean, we did Sargeras, I suppose, but we didn't really fight him, and we had an entire expansion dedicated to the Legion, which is what I was hoping we would go with for N'Zoth. And I suppose the end cinematic hasn't been released, so there is something, but I think it's more or less going to lead into the next expansion. I don't think they're going to stuff him back in his prison. I think he's going to die for good. But again, there could be a piece of the puzzle missing, and perhaps that is what we're going to see at BlizzCon. But this video is kind of all over the place. I think the core message that I want to relay is I hope that people get what they want. I'm extremely doubtful that Blizzard is going to release anything that's gonna tickle my fancy, I suppose, for lack of any better phrasing that I can use. But we're gonna have to wait and see, right? That's the thing. The hype train is starting. It would be cool if Bolvar is like the centerpiece of the next expansion. I wouldn't mind having another Nax-like raid, not Naxxramas, but maybe a different, what are they called, Necropolysis? Maybe a new one. You know, that would probably pull out the nostalgic heartstrings of people. All I know is that BFA didn't feel right. Nothing about the expansion felt right. It was a lot of gimmicks. It was content you had to do, or you felt like you had to do, instead of content you wanted to do. I actually missed the PvP prestiges. I hate that they just went to levels. I was kind of hoping they would just reset your prestige level or do something along those lines. But I guess, you know, people complain about the Mage Tower being gone, even though they said right from the beginning it was limited. So resetting prestiges would be out of the question. But it just feels like everything gets dumbed down or gets watered down to the point where you don't care about it. I mean, heroic warfronts are okay. That's what they should have been like at launch, but I will say the raid does look beautiful in 8.3. Just the fact that you have so many integral systems that are supposed to have this symbiotic relationship, but when something gets nerfed, you have to find a new essence or your stats change. And then when that gets changed, well, maybe perhaps the corruption affixes, I should say, or yeah, I guess affixes, or the corruption, I guess, just buffs that you have on your gear, they will have to change. Therefore, you have to hope that new gear drops, and it's just, you have to purge the other stuff off, and it's just like, why? You know, we used to have just tier sets. We used to just have, it used to be simple, and it was still better. Less is more sometimes, Blizzard. I wish they would understand that. But no, I think that they're absolutely going to just nostalgic all over people. I don't think we're ever going to get tier sets back. They would have to bring back class sets in order for that to happen, and I just don't think they're going to do it. I hope they realize, though, that people were like, yeah, this system is stupid. These gear sets are awful. The ones from Nyalotha look a lot better, but, like, the only one that I liked in BFA up to the Nyalotha sets is the Mythic Warrior one from the Battle for Dazala lore. That is the only set that I liked. Nothing from Uldir, nothing from Eternal Palace, and only the Mythic Plate one from Dazala lore is the only set that I liked in this expansion. And I mean, in Legion, oh boy, there's so many sets that I could say that I liked. For example, just off the top of my head, the Druid and the Warrior ones from Antorus, and also the Paladin one from Tomb of Sargeras, the Death Knight, I think it's the Death Knight one from Nighthold and Emerald Nightmare. I also like the Druid one from Emerald Nightmare. Like, I could keep going. I honestly could keep going, but those are just a few examples. Right there, and that's been, what, 15 seconds, I've already said more than I could about BFA. I'm not really that hyped. And I don't even want to say I'm nervous. I'm just like, I don't know how to describe the feeling. It's like I'm waiting, and then half of me says, well, why do I even care so much? And I think even for me, it's based on nostalgia. It was something I did when, you know, I was early teens, and it's something that's been with me, and I feel like I'm married to a woman, in that I'm waiting to find out if my wife cheated on me, because if she did, well, then I have an excuse to leave her. However, if she didn't cheat on me, turns out she's doing something nice for me, then it might rekindle my love a little bit. I think that's the only analogy that I could come up with is that Blizzard can absolutely keep me. But again, I'm going to go for something specific. I'm not going to go, okay, well, this all sounds good. I'll have to wait and see how it works. No, I need something specific. Something that'll specifically be for what I feel is me. So if we don't get playable dragons, whether that be a class or a race, if we don't get something along the lines of runes or Vrykruel, or even ogres, I would be okay with. What else? I think we'll start with that. I think there's a few more examples that I could give. Perhaps maybe challenge mode or some type of mage tower. Which, let's be honest, they're going to add one this expansion. I don't think they'll skip out again. I'd say all of those things. If they add any one of those, they'll sell me immediately. And if not, if they add, like, let's say more allied races, a Tinker class, they talk about how they love the Mythic Plus system and they're expanding upon it, or they like the way the sets worked out in BFA and how they really like the Azraite gear and all that. We get a new artifact weapon, then I'm done. That's it. I'm out. I'm signing off. I will uninstall. Not just for a bit, for good. I think it'll be time to leave World of Warcraft behind because it's apparent that they're just going a direction that I can no longer support. That's what it comes down to, right? Which I don't know what that would do to my channel. I don't know what I would transition into, but hopefully people would have some they would have some ideas for me. But we'll have to wait and see. That's the only thing we can do. Anyway, 2 days away. Good luck, everybody. I hope everybody gets what they want. I hope it's cool. I'll, of course, upload reactions and stuff and thoughts. But I will see you guys later. Take care and have a good day.